The topics and opinions expressed on the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4WN Radio.
Books, beauty products, science, fashion, and glam talk. From Bollywood to Hollywood, it's Dr. Afshan Hashmi's radio show every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on W4WN Radio, the Women for Women Network. And here's your host, international speaker, educator, award-winning entrepreneur, and best-selling author, Dr. Afshan N. Hashmi.
Hello viewers around the globe, this is Dr. Afshan Hashmi's radio cum TV show live from W4WN Network in Louisiana, and this is your loving host Dr. Afshan Hashmi. Friends, I just wanted to remind you that have you bought my two best-selling books on Amazon, The Modern Mughal Mentality, New Strategies to Succeed in India and the Global Marketplace, and The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection? So first, this book was a business book, and when this book came, there was a lot of research in Harvard and Stanford about Jugaad. So I conceptualized a business model in this, which is called Jugaad Management Principal Business Model. And friends, this business model is if you employ it in your business, you will be very successful. So just go and buy these two books and give me an honest review. And the second book, The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection, this one here, and it is a science fiction book, and it is geared towards a bioterrorism story in a very unique way. I have devised a story in a science fiction cozy mystery about bioterrorism, and when this book came, there was a lot of I just wanted, there was no trace of coronavirus because my second book came in 2019 and there was no trace of coronavirus. So friends, this is a very, very good book to read in today's time, that what harm bioterrorism can cause. Having said that, I have a lot of author services on my website, www.afshanhashmi.com and www.drafshanhashmi.com. So go to my website or write to me at afshan@drafshanhashmi.com and see what other services I run. I can bring unlimited traffic to your website, and I run a lot of author services. So please go and see what other services I have, and but first go and buy these two books and give me an honest review. And recently I gave I can take any type of review, but recently I hired someone to do a review, like they do paid reviews, and they charge me so much, and then she gave me all bad review, and she said, this book, my second book, The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection, is not edited properly and all. Although it is all very professionally edited, why do people do this to people? I just don't understand. Give your honest review, and that I believe was not an honest review. That's all I have to say, because authors write books with lot of passion, and this is not fair that you give a bad review and you say there were repetitions. This book is not like it is like a textbook. Of course, I wanted to explain like what bioterrorism is, so that people can understand. A layman who reads my book can understand. So it is not a textbook, it is a very very nice book, and Amazon recognized it with these two books were bestsellers on Amazon. So if a book cannot become a bestseller if it is not well written, or there are so many good reviews on Amazon about this book. Yes, some people said like there were not character development, and that is for a thing I didn't want to I want to address that issue also, because I didn't want to do too much character development and everything is lost in that, because I wanted to convey the message that how bioterrorism can be harmful. Because and this book came in 2019, so just see what happened in 2010, 2020, isn't it? What we are experiencing today, COVID-19 is bioterrorism. That's what I feel about. So having said that, friends, d- just go and buy these two books and give me an honest review. And having said that, friends, today I will read little bit from this book, and the second book, The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection, and see Chapter 1, 1964 to 2018. In a sprawling bungalow in Potomac, Maryland, USA, lived Dr. Honey Singh, a board-certified internal medicine and family practice physician, along with his beautiful wife, Baby Singh. Baby Singh was a fashionista and was funding women's causes through her Honey Babe Foundation. She had a ladies' book club by the name of Baby's Glam and Glitzy Club, which had many glam and glitzy ladies who were professionals living in Washington, D.C., Potomac, Maryland, Virginia, and even Beverly Hills, California, as well as elites from all of America, meeting at her place on the last Wednesday of every month, discussing various aspects of charities they wanted her and Dr. Honey to fund. In this club, there was a wide spectrum of career women. There were doctors, lawyers, actresses, business owners, and models, to name a few. So I have read this book, and now I will go in a commercial break. And all my viewers, please don't go anywhere, because I have a very very interesting guest who's a hypnotherapist, and I will be in a conversation to uh, talk to her. So, and there is a comment that from Think You TV, glad to watch you here. I am very happy. Let me know who you are and send me an email at Afshan at drafshanhashmi.com, and I would love to connect with you. So, having said that, just let me go to the break, and I will be back soon.
Would you love exposure for your business, product, or service to over 300 million potential listeners? Send an email to info@talkformedia.com. And now let's hear from some of our sponsors.
Chapter 2, How Jugaad Leads to Multi-Sector Success Stories in India, including definitions of the Jugaad Management Principle business model. Of the book, The Modern Mughal Mentality, New Strategies to Succeed in India and the Global Marketplace. Inspiration. True Jugaad is an inspiration on how to create products using technology that meet the price-value equation. According to a Harvard Business Review article featuring expert Prahlad and Mashelkar, most innovation programs are built on the assumptions of affluence and abundance. We see the rich and the young in both the developed and the developing countries demanding environmental friendly products and services. They also believe that affordability and sustainability are crucial to driving successful business today. New technologies and radical business models are important not only to penetrate mass markets in India but in the entire world. By reconfiguring all areas of the business structure, they will pull.
A monstrous infection is spreading worldwide. OMG, is this a simple infection or a deliberate attempt to ruin the human population? Or maybe it's bioterrorism. What is this global infection and who is spreading it? Help us find out. Go to Amazon and search for The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection. The human race needs your help to make this go viral. Go to Amazon.com and read The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection to find out what happens next. Go now! The world is depending on you.
And now, back to Dr. Afshan Hashmi's radio show.
Hello friends, so today I want to welcome in my show Janine Regan-Sinclair, the conscious architect. Janine, please send Janine to the show. Hi Janine.
Hi there.
Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me on your show.
Yeah, thank you for coming, and I'm really honored because this is the first time that I am in conversation with a hypnotherapist. I kind of know what the field is, but not that much. So I'm really honored to have you here. So I will read little bit about you, and then I have some questions for you. So
Okay.
Janine Regan-Sinclair, the conscientious architect, she calls herself that, certified clinical hypnotherapist slash counselor, NLP practitioner, international speaker and author, accredited by the Royal College of Nursing, registered member of the American Union of NLP. So now let's see the background of Janine in little more. I'm expanding it. Janine Regan-Sinclair created the crystal key pronounced key healing system in 2003. She is a therapist, author, medical intuitive, and speaker, and her testimonials speak for themselves. Known as the conscientious architect, she has the ability to help you access higher levels of consciousness as well as gently releasing trauma memories and fear from the subconscious mind and cell memory. Since childhood, Janine realized she was a service oriented person, but it wasn't until she suffered a trauma that turned her world upside down that her life purpose was made clear. That's when she decided to leave her 18-year-old long career in architecture and chose to become a therapist, speaker, and writer. In 2003, Janine Regan-Sinclair had a vision, a forum for well-being and a place for personal and spiritual development. As a result, she formulated a powerful energy realignment system called Crystal Key Healing. Her system changed the frequency of the energy in and around people, land, and buildings, uplifting their mindset and creating positive change on a personal and global scale. So now, Janine, there are so many questions. Even you haven't started, and people are asking so many questions. Anyway, so I will get back to these questions from viewers. First, let's start and tell me what is hypnotherapy and what trauma you had and why you changed from architecture to this.
Okay. Well, it's nearly 20 years ago now. It'll be 20 years in the summer since my father passed away, and I was in the building industry in architecture from the age of 17. So basically, when my dad passed away, I was just completely grief-stricken and inconsolable. I couldn't sleep. I lost 30 pounds in weight, and I ended up in hospital for 2 weeks. It was my whole digestive system broke down, wouldn't work, and we've all heard the saying, I felt gutted, like they gut a fish, and that's exactly where my energy field had been damaged. It was that led me to go for some energy healing, and that's how my career path started to change and evolve. So I basically took 2 years and started working with energy healing, learning about that. Then I went back to university and looked into hypnotherapy and counselling. I also did a bit of psychology, NLP, and various other things. So basically, because I wanted to know how to heal PTSD and trauma in people, and it's kind of evolved from there. Then my hypnotherapy is a small part of what I do. All of the techniques that I've learned is what I actually use in my therapy sessions with people. So it's a combination of skills, and then I developed my own energy healing system called Crystal Key, which was working with diamond energy at the time. And that's evolved now as well because of the changes to the energy on the planet, the ascension of the planet. Even the energy that I'm working with has changed now. And I work with what I call one.
So what is diamond energy for the viewers to understand? Because I don't know what is that.
Okay. So basically, human beings are not solid as we appear. We're made of layers of light, energy waves, electromagnetic fields. And people that know about the chakra system, they're the colours of the rainbow. So going up from the base of the spine, up through the system, you've got red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Then you go white, and you go above the white into silver and gold and diamond, and then beyond that into the clear void of one. So it's basically the energy centers, and the frequency of each color is a slightly higher frequency than the other. And the human body, the human being, is energy. So all of these, we're a mixture. A healthy person is a mixture of these colors.
I see. So let me start from the questions people have. So let's see. Is it true? Is it true you cannot make a person do something they would not do under hypnotism? This is a question.
So let me explain the difference between hypnotherapy and hypnotism. Hypnotherapy is guiding people. Hypnotherapy is therapy. It's guiding people into their subconscious, help them relax and look back into things from the past that are causing them problems in this lifetime. Hypnotism is guiding people into deep trance state where they can be, it's used mainly for entertainment purposes. So it's a completely different thing altogether. And so I've heard that in hypnotists, they're not supposed to be able to get people to do things they don't really want to do. But that's not what I do. I work with hypnotherapy. So basically, I use breathing techniques to guide people into their subconscious mind, to change their belief systems that are in there, that may be something negative from childhood or trauma of some sort. It's a different thing to hypnotists. That's entertainment.
So let's see. What made you choose the field to go into? Like they say, like, why?
Yeah, well, I chose that because of my own trauma when I lost my father, and it kind of evolved from there. So I learned about the energy and healing the energy in the body, And then I decided I felt guided actually by my inner voice to learn hypnotherapy and counselling, because I wanted to know how the mind affects the body, and meditation and mind over matter and all of these things. And it absolutely does affect every cell in your body. You know, it's a proven scientific fact that watching the news, for example, damages your immune system. You know, they've actually proven things like that. And this is why people talk about being positive, being happy, because what you think, what you feel in your heart is affecting every cell in your body. It's affecting your DNA, and that affects your health, and it affects everyone around you.
Okay, so there is another question that did the grief bring you to a strange place?
It did bring me to a strange place. Yeah, it brought me to a place where I was really close to my father, and it opened up things in me that I'd closed down when I was a child. Up until the age of 11, I was clairvoyant. I used to be able to see the nature elementals, the little fairies and things like that in the garden. And that, when I went to middle school, you probably call it, we call it secondary school in the UK, I realised at 11 years old that everyone didn't see things like that. So I stopped completely. And then when my father passed away, when I was 36, that clairvoyance started to come back. So I was very aware of being able to communicate with spirit, and that opened me up to a whole other level, because I decided I could use that vision to look at people's bodies and look at their energy templates, and look deeper, use the clairvoyance to look into helping people into their past and into their energy fields, into what was the root cause of issues and problems they were having.
Okay, so now another question. Did you go through this type of therapy to heal yourself?
Yeah, when I came out of hospital, after basically my digestive system stopped working, and I was put in hospital for 2 weeks, and I'd lost 30 pounds in weight. People were convinced I had, a serious illness like cancer or something, but it wasn't. It was just grief. I was absolutely grief-stricken. And when I came out of hospital, I had a friend that did energy healing, and I went to see her, had some healing, and I felt so much better. I mean, it didn't cure it straight away. There was other stuff going on. It took me about 3 months really to heal my body. But I decided that it was like a light bulb going off for me when I decided I needed to learn how to do this. But when I was in the class with other people, when they rubbed their hands together to bring the energy through, their hands were warm and my hands were freezing cold. So I realized that I was working with a different frequency to them. And at the time, I discovered it was diamond energy. But we're going back nearly 18 years ago. It'll be 18 years in April 2021. So, the energies change. The colors feel different to people. When you get really tuned in, energy feels different. You can feel positive and negative energy, and the colors feel different as well. So now it's an even higher frequency than that. And I'm teaching people how to connect to what I call one, and there's a story behind that.
So there is like a couple of questions, and I'll just put all of them together. Like, there's so much. How can we tune in our energies? One. Then one says, are we made of energy? And then there was this. What is the clairvoyance you speak to us about? And then there was one more. Can people learn how to use clairs at any age in life? I don't even know what this means. Clairs and clairvoyance.
Clairsentience. Right. So, okay. I'll explain what they are. So clairvoyance is the ability to see beyond this physical reality. So you're using something called your mind's eye, which is what you see your dreams with, basically. Your eyes are closed. Your mind's eye, or your third eye, it's called in Eastern
third eye
philosophies, is so that's clairvoyance. clairaudience is being able to hear from another level of consciousness. So that may be speaking to you or angels speaking to you. Then you've got clairsentience, which is clear feeling. And you've got clairomniscience, which is clear knowing. And claircognizance, which is clear thought. So there's a lot of different clairs, or for all of the different senses in the body. And mine are just fine-tuned, and I anyone can learn. We're born clairvoyant, and up until the age of 7. I mean, how many children play in the garden with their invisible friends? Maybe they're not so invisible after all.
So what kind of books you have written, because you are an author, and what kind of system have you developed, because it is called Crystal Key? What do you do in that, and books, and you talk about all this?
Yeah, well, Crystal Key is the name of the energy. So it's the name of the energy that I work with, and that has evolved with me from starting off as diamond energy. It's quite a high frequency. But my first book is they're available on Kindle at the moment. I'm in the process of changing publishers so that it's harder to get hold of hard copies. But the first one's called The Angel, the Witch, and the Warrior, and that's 40 chapters on different subjects to spiritual personal development. So basically it's talking about all sorts of things, from meditation to angels to autism to astral travel to your Akashic Records and that type of thing. And then the next 3 books are about my out-of-body experiences, because I'm an adept astral traveler. And that means being able to leave your body and consciously be aware of being in your body and be in another dimension at the same time. I'm teaching workshops about this at the moment. So there's all of these different, basically it's my diaries. So the book's called Saving the World from Your Bathtub, which is where I do my meditations. The third book is The Princess and the Pink Moon Leeches, and the other one is the Avatar and the Crystal Key. So they're all about being out of your body with Archangel Michael and traveling to interdimensional travel. So people that are like that kind of thing really enjoy them. And I also have made 36 self-help audios for people as well, because trauma is a really important thing for me. But they're on my the website as well, and they're not expensive. I realise people haven't got a lot of money to spend on these things. And they start at $5.99 US. So there's something that I'd really like to share with people, that I believe my audio is probably the only one on the internet that helps with that problem. And it's something called soul fragment. When we go through a trauma, we're shocked. Our emotional body gets shocked out of us. And we've all heard the saying, I was beside myself. That's where your emotional body is. So that energetic template that suffered the emotional side steps out of your body, and I call it the missing piece of the puzzle. It's a soul fragment. So it's like a piece of your soul that's broken away from your whole, and whatever was in the vicinity at that time, it may be fear or anger or shock, goes into that space. Well, I developed an audio that brings back up to 3 soul fragments for people. It heals it and integrates it back into their energy body, subtle body templates. And people say things like, I've never been the same since that happened. Or I feel like there's a piece of me missing. And that's that soul fragment that I talk about. There's also a brain repair audio in there that helps with all kinds of neuropathway issues, and anybody's had a head injury or concussion, or I've even had it help with things like ADD, any kind of brain trauma at all as well. So some of them, are really quite unusual, and the other ones are to do with relationships and weight and knee issues and various other things on there, anger and rage, limiting beliefs. So there's quite a lot of help online for people. And they're powerful as well. I use meditation breathing. I use the binaural beats in the background, which guarantee your brain being in theta brainwave frequency, which is where you can access the subconscious. So basically, it's taken you into the programs in your subconscious that are creating your body, your health, and your reality.
So, like, there are two questions I'm going to combine. How do you find your way back to your body? And then it says, is there a danger of death while walking out of your body?
No. There is something called a silver cord that attaches your spirit to your physical body, and that silver cord is only disconnected when we actually die, and that's destiny. You know, you have a destiny death, so that's disconnected by your higher consciousness only when you die. When astral traveling, it's still connected, so you can't get lost. Your higher consciousness would always bring you back to your body. And I've certainly never known of heard of anybody dying when they've been astral traveling. No.
Okay. Yeah, so now tell us a little bit more about yourself, your program and all, and how people can reach you if they want to have a consultation with you. And how much like do you charge? You charge by hour or you talk to the person? And so, because if somebody is interested to hire you.
Yeah. Okay, so I charge by the hour. I've got a website called crystalkey.com, which is crystalki.com. And you can contact me on there. But at the moment, I've just finished it started off as 10 days and then 21 days. And today I've done day 24. If they join me on Instagram, which is at Janine Regan-Sinclair, all one word, all lowercase, there is actually 21 free healings on there that cleanse the DNA. Now, I don't know what you know about DNA, but your DNA, the junk DNA, is actually programs in our DNA.
Yeah, that I know, because I'm
guiding people.
Yeah, I'm a scientist by background,
Yeah.
so I know all that, but I don't know this hypnotherapy thing at all. So, so please continue.
Yeah. Well, I'm not just working. Yeah, I wouldn't label myself just a hypnotherapist because I don't use their techniques. I've learned a lot of different skill sets so that I can, put together a mixture of mind, body, spirit to get results. And just sticking with one thing wasn't getting results for me. That's why I've, studied all these different things. So that's why I'm called a consciousness architect, because my role is to facilitate people rewriting their consciousness, and your consciousness is what creates your health and what manifests your reality. And I explain a lot of this in all of the Instagram videos, and I've just copied them over to YouTube as well. And so people can upgrade their DNA, and we're not just doing it for ourselves. The intention is to do it for our ancestors, past, present, and future, throughout one. And let me just share with you what
You are freezing. Can't hear you. Your internet froze. Don't know.
I mean by one, the Father. And I used to
move
on from that.
Yeah, because internet is freezing again.
Into source energy, which was like an orb.
Didn't get it because internet was
again,
freezing.
I lost you there.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Okay.
Yeah. So internet is freezing.
I can
you
now.
Are. Yeah.
Okay.
So we didn't understand what you said. So can you please repeat it?
Okay. Yes. So I started working with what people would call God and bringing that energy through. And then when I was astral projecting, I was taken to this place which felt like a temple with this white orb in the middle of it, and it was the source of creation. So I meditated with that for 3 days, and then I remembered somebody saying to me, it's a brave man that goes beyond. So my astral travel, I went and jumped into the source and came through a portal into the other side, which was empty. It was like the space with all the stars and universes, and it was the clear void of one. I didn't know that at the time. I asked, have I died? Because there was nothing, and I got told, no, you are, you know, you are in the infinite, you are in one, and we want you to bring this energy down into the earth and share it with people. So that's what I've been doing through guided meditations to cleanse their DNA of all sorts of things, like the King of Tyranny program, which is not a good one at all. We go into all kinds of different programs that are in the DNA over the it's now 24 days, and there's going to be another one on Saturday at midday Pacific, which is 3 p.m. Eastern, for clearing trauma from the DNA, because we've got intergenerational trauma as well. All of us have imprints that we have from our ancestral in our DNA, and I've read that it's 1 to 18 zeros. That's a lot of zeros. That's a quintillion. So we've got stuff in our DNA that's being projected into reality, and that's what manifests the illusion of reality for us. So I'm helping people to connect to one, to bring one through their body, through all of their energy bodies, for them and their past, present, and future, to clear out these negative imprints that are in the DNA, so that we're manifesting together a more higher frequency reality, a purer reality, a kinder world, if you like. And that's what's on Instagram and on YouTube at the moment. And as I say, it started off as I was asked to do 10 days, and then when I was meditating, I got asked to continue it for 21 days, and I'm still, Saturday will be day 25, Saturday the 16th. And Sunday I've got a workshop on as well, actually, on the 17th of January 2021, to take people into their Akashic Records. And they're also programs in your consciousness that affect your reality. Aware of those?
So, like now we are heading towards the end of the program. The time is, let me see if there is any question. Okay. Okay. So, what changed, because you have done it on yourself first, what change did you see when you were in traumatic stage when your dad died? Because my dad also, when he died, I was in a very trauma kind of situation, because I was also only daughter and very close to my dad. So what difference did you find when you were in that trauma, and what position you are today? What is the difference? Did you?
The difference, and I'm much calmer today. I was very angry and tearful, and felt disconnected emotionally from people when my dad died, because my emotional body, soul fragment, was outside of me. The same as what happens with people that have got PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. It's people need to be put back together on an energetic level. Their vibrational template need to be fixed. So yeah, I was short-tempered, and I just felt like I was the only person in the world that, and nobody understood my pain when I'm going through that. And now I'm completely calm, and nothing bothers me now. I sit back and I look at things from a higher perspective because of all the DNA work. Things don't trigger me. I don't judge people anymore, because I realize that everyone's got their own things going on. And in a more peaceful place.
So like you are calmer, you are at a better place, and you can understand people better. But like what about the social skills after
Yeah.
this? Like your social skills have increased, right? After this treatment, like
Oh, definitely. Absolutely.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I've learned. Yeah, I've learned to listen more and speak less. You learn a lot about people when you listen.
Yes,
And
yes.
I'm very sensitive to. I'm very, their emotional field, what's going on with them now. And
I see.
I don't judge people either.
I see. Okay, so how can one enter the record room? I don't even know what record room they want, you know. How do you find calm
Yeah,
inside
the
you?
Akashic Records they're talking about. Yeah. Well, I connect to one when I wake up in the morning. So I bring the Jimmy and ground it into the earth, and I ask one to guide my thoughts, words, and deeds throughout the day. This is something that all religions can come to. They're all
Yes,
these different religions, but all came from the same place. That is a fact. And I'm hoping to guide people back to that, so that there's more unity instead of separation on the planet. We need to come back together and remember that it doesn't matter what color we are or what sex we are. Our energy is colors. Our energy is frequency. We're light. All of the same. Absolutely. And so yeah, my goal is to help people do that. And your Akash is what's in everything you've ever done or do on a multi-dimensional level is in your Akashic Records. So I take people in to find out, there may be vows or pacts and things, that contracts with other beings from other lifetimes, clearing those, cancelling those, oaths that we may have sworn to people that are binding us to that, to get away from them. Even things like spells and black magic and stuff like that. Curses are all stored in your Akashic Records. And if you take it see it as you're going into a computer to defrag or take out the viruses and clean them out, so your computer runs at a faster frequency. It's the same thing, really. That's the best analogy I can come up with.
Yeah, very well said. So, thank you, Janine, for coming in my show. And it was a pleasure talking to you. I had some knowledge about hypnotherapy, and you talked to my viewers, and I just love these conversations. So, thank you a lot, and we will be in touch. Bye bye. So now, friends, this is Dr. Afshan Hashmi, and I just wanted to remind you that have you bought my two books, The Modern Mughal Mentality, as well as this one, The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection. If you haven't bought these two books, please go and buy these two books and give me an honest review, and do come and to my shows. And I just love the comments, what coming. I like to have an interactive discussion. And if I can be of any help to you, just write to me at afshan@drafshanhashmi.com, and go and buy these two books and give me an honest review about it. And that's all I have to say. And if please go to my website www.afshanhashmi.com and www.drafshanhashmi.com, and see what kind of services, author services I run. And I do marketing for authors, and you can come to my show as a guest, and you can sponsor this show if you want, so that we can, I really need some more sponsorship for the show, so the show must go on. So, having said that, friends, cheers. And I will bring my beautiful cup. This is my lucky mascot, this cup. And cheers. And bye bye.
You have been listening to Dr. Afshan Hashmi's radio show on W4WN Radio, the Women for Women Network. Tune in live right here every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Would you love exposure for your business, product, or service to over 300 million potential listeners? Send an email at info@talk4media.com. And remember, if you missed any part of this show or want to hear it again, find our featured show on iHeartRadio, where all past episodes are available on demand 24/7. See you next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time.